There is a channel that is worse than Cartoon Network when it comes to scheduling, management, and general channel deterioration. Enter Game Show Network, and then abandon all hope for anything decent, ye who enter here. Hey everyone, I'm Benzie Johnson Jr. and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I am enthusiastic about television, and if you are too, or just interested in exploring, then come along with me by hitting subscribe. And maybe that bell too, because I post multiple new videos every single week. Now, if you know how bad Cartoon Network has been in recent years, I think I've done a couple of videos too already, which you can check out here. That is a bold claim to make, but at least with Cartoon Network, they're in the recovery phase. Game Show Network has just dived into the deep end. So for some context, Game Show Network, alternately dubbed between that and the acronym GSN over its 28-year lifespan, it just turned 28 on December 1st, is a cable network devoted to, guess, game shows. The channel has bounced to and from the depths of the reality TV pit and caring about its original remit again, most notably hitting channel drift rock bottom in the mid-2000s like most everybody else, give or take a few years at the time, and in recent years had been on a hot streak producing very enjoyable and very unique original game shows. While you could argue there were some good shows which preceded this era, I'd specifically shout out Baggage, hosted by Jerry Springer of all people. It began in earnest in 2013 with the launch of the US version of The Chase, based on the wildly popular British series. As much as I'd like to explain all these game shows, I don't have time in this video to do that and still make my point. In this push for new series, the network was looking to aim closer towards the 18 to 49 demographic advertisers covet and that most television channels are going for. Given most game show audiences tend to be older, this wasn't a shoe-in effort, but they definitely gave it one heck of a shot, following up The Chase with hits such as Brain-Twisting Challenge Idiot Test, Team Decision-Making Quiz Game Divided, based on another British format, and emoji puzzle game show Emojinious. Yes, there is an emoji game show. And if you said those words to anyone before that show's premiere last summer, they would have said you were crazy and instantly panned it. Take it from someone who's watched it. It is not that bad. Not to mention some less smash hit original fare such as Mind of a Man, hosted by D. Ray Davis in not the only game show he would host in recent years, and fact-stacking giveaway bonanza Winsanity, hosted by Donald Faison from Scrubs. Because why not? Heck, even Baggage got a bit of a reboot. I can't complain about that. What I can complain about though is how things started to sour starting in about sometime in 2017 or so. The network had just acquired Cash Cab, that Discovery Channel game show with the New York City Taxi, and possibly their greatest example of channel drift. The network had begun to run Steve Harvey episodes of Family Feud in increasing amounts, especially in the evenings after 5 p.m, where marathons would run usually until the night's new game show episode. Reruns of the game show in question, or just in general if it wasn't a premiere night, would typically run about 1 a.m, where the new episodes would run again in a courtesy to the West Coast, then Baggage reruns until the infomercials lulled you to sleep. Cash Cab would eventually sell into a home at 11 p.m, which didn't disrupt the pattern of the schedule too much. 2018 is where the real problems would kick in. First off, GSN sort of teased a rebrand by slowly starting to refer to themselves as their full name again as we head into the year, and then they started burning off Winsanity. Sure, it wasn't their best show, but come on! Surely Donald Faison deserved better. That wasn't the worst thing. The real crap hit the fan when the channel started running 6-hour marathons of Family Feud every night as the norm. New episodes and reruns of the network's current originals got burned off in late nights. And that wasn't a fluke or a temporary mistake, that was the schedule. For months, it was even promoted. GSN's 2018 productions were way under par compared to what had come before them, and were a clear sign the network had decided to give up on their gambit to trying to skew younger, no matter how successful it may have been. The channel launched 3 shows this year, and 3 shows only. America Says, which is part Family Feud clone and part untapped potential as a format, Caroline and Friends, which stars Caroline Reeve, fresh off of jumping from gig to gig in a terrible and egregious game show that's really just a talk show reviewing internet videos in masquerade, and The Daily Draw, less of a show and more of a half-hearted, meager giveaway employed to build some manner of buzz and or viewership for the hideous shell of a channel GSN had become. In its defense, the channel has managed to keep some semblance of its remit in weekday daytime, continuing to devote mornings to classics and afternoons to more recent fare, at least until 4 p.m. when things sort of hit the fan for the god-awful part of the schedule, which drags through all the peak viewing hours and therefore hurts the network in many eyes. Now, I like the current Steve Harvey run of Family Feud as much as the next person. Steve looking at contestants like they're crazy the moment someone suggests something even remotely suggestive is half the fun of this version of the show. It's one of, if not the top-rated game shows in syndication, and it rates well for GSN's runs too, apparently. But surely, 6 hours a night, every night, Not to mention, every possible holiday marathon opportunity is more than overkill. Now, it's really only been a year that Game Show Network's been down in the dumps. There's still a chance for them to get at least back on some kind of beat. And it looks like they're taking one. They're moving new episodes of America Says, really their only show right now, back into primetime, and they're launching a new game show called Common Knowledge in January. If they treat that well, and work on building up a strong slate of originals again, they can put this all behind them and we can act like 2018 GSN didn't happen. Because the issue isn't that things have drastically changed. Family Feud marathons were here before. It's that now with the lack of original content, the state of the rest of the channel's schedule has been put into stark relief. Because now that's all we have to go on. I'm not going to forgive them for throwing all their previous originals into late night death slots, but they can do so much better from here, and if they're looking to head towards a more all audiences direction rather than just chasing the demo, which is what I think is going on behind the scenes, I'm fine with supporting that, so long as the channel itself stays relatively strong. Don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss new television videos multiple times a week, and if you liked this one, show it by hitting that like button. I'll see you in the next video.